The European Union has been blasted for caving into threats of violence from Northern Ireland terrorist groups in the row over the Brexit protocol. The Brexit campaigner and loyalist activist Jamie Bryson has slammed the EU for awarding threats of violence during the drafting of the Northern Ireland Protocol. Brussels and Dublin long held that any hard border on the island of Ireland would become a target for terrorism. Mr. Bryson told Express.co.uk, "I've always taken the view that violence or the threat of violence was weaponized and rewarded. I mean, if we just tell us in its simplest form, the Prime Minister of the Irish Republic went to the European Union, produced a newspaper article about IRA bombs, and said, well, if we don't get away, this is what might happen. You know, here's the people behind me with the big stick almost." I mean, could you imagine for 1 minute that the British Prime Minister had gone to the European Union with just a newspaper article about a UVF bomb in Dublin and said, "Oh, well, I mean, if we don't get our way, you know, loyalists might bomb Dublin." I mean, there would have been worldwide condemnation. But when it came to the Irish government, the European Union were happy to accept this and ran with the protocol as an award for threats of nationalist violence. He continued, "I mean, There's absolutely no doubt about that, that is plain, that was clear. That is what it is, and that is what has created this imbalance, because if you say that, well, the surveillance is good enough to prevent a north-south border, then naturally many people in the loyalist community to say, oh well, fair enough, the same threat of violence should be good enough to prevent an east-west border. And so the difficulty they have now is because they've awarded one, they have to award the other. So the only way to actually restore peace and stability in Northern Ireland is that they have to balance things up again, because they've set a precedent of awarding nationalist threats to violence. They've almost put themselves in a situation whereby they have to show the same of deference to the potential threats of violence if there is a sea border, which brings us back to the central point of having to find a different solution. Mr. Bryson has previously argued that the Brexit deal, as currently agreed between the UK and EU, amounts to the colonisation of Northern Ireland into an economic union. He told Express.co.uk that the full implementation of the protocol would mean chaos on the streets of Northern Ireland. I mean, it would be the colonisation and the subjection of Northern Ireland within an economically united Ireland, he said. He added, I think people are fed up with the hostile Irish government. So I mean, it would be crazy. The protocol as it sits at the minute is a serious threat to peace and security in Northern Ireland. I mean, if the notion was that the answer to that was more protocol, I mean, it would just be extraordinarily naive. Chief Brexit negotiator Liz Truss has said that it is up to the EU to take a clear responsibility to resolve tensions over Northern Ireland. Ms. Truss said, my priority is defending the Union and protecting the peace. I will be putting forward constructive proposals to help communities and businesses in Northern Ireland.